Welcome back to Fire and Shadow, a liquid flame so terrifying it defied the very laws of nature, burning relentlessly even upon the water that sought to quench it. This was Greek fire, the devil's breath, a secret that both forged an empire's destiny and ultimately vanished into the forgotten pages of history. Welcome back to Echoes of Time, where we sift through the ashes of the past to uncover history's most fascinating secrets. Prepare to venture into the heart of a raging inferno, a weapon so terrifying it was whispered to be the work of dark forces. For centuries, the very mention of Byzantine Greek fire struck an unparalleled fear into the hearts of emperors and sailors alike. This was no ordinary flame. It was an inextinguishable inferno, a viscous, burning terror deployed with devastating effect, leaving behind only the chilling echoes of its legend. The mystery of its composition has baffled historians and chemists for over a millennium, a secret formula that vanished with the empire that created it. What truly was this so-called devil's breath, and how did the Byzantines manage to keep its recipe hidden for so long, creating a puzzle that has remained unsolved for centuries? Our journey into this fiery enigma begins around the 7th century AD, when the Byzantine Empire, the successor to the Roman Empire in the East, first unleashed this ultimate superweapon of its age. At a time when naval warfare was crucial for controlling trade routes and defending vast territories, the introduction of Greek fire fundamentally altered the balance of power. Imagine the scene: Byzantine warships, formidable vessels in their own right, closing in on an enemy fleet. From their prows, pressurized siphons, often adorned with fearsome beast heads, would project streams of this incendiary liquid. It wasn't simply thrown, it was launched, a terrifying arc of flame descending upon the wooden ships of their adversaries. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. Ships would erupt into uncontrollable infernos, their crews facing a horrific choice between a fiery death and drowning in the very waters that refused to extinguish the burning substance. The strategic impact of Greek fire cannot be overstated. It decisively turned the tide of crucial naval battles, ensuring the survival of an empire under constant siege. Its most famous and perhaps most vital deployment came during the Arab sieges of Constantinople, the mighty capital of the Byzantine Empire. Over decades, starting in the late 7th century, vast Arab fleets descended upon the city, aiming to crush the last vestige of Roman power and expand their burgeoning caliphate. Time and again, as these formidable fleets pressed their attack, they were met with the terrifying spectacle of Greek fire. The liquid flame spread across the water, engulfing enemy ships in an inescapable conflagration. It was a psychological weapon as much as a physical one, sowing panic and despair among those who faced it. Without this infernal weapon, it is highly probable that Constantinople would have fallen, altering the course of European and world history irrevocably. Greek fire, therefore, was not merely a military innovation. It was a shield that protected the heart of Byzantium and, by extension, profoundly influenced the development of Western civilization. Such an extraordinary weapon demanded extraordinary secrecy. The formula for Greek fire was a fiercely guarded state secret, a priceless asset considered more valuable than any treasure. Its knowledge was confined to an extremely select few within the ruling dynasty, often passed down from emperor to heir, or to a small, trusted circle of engineers and chemists. Those privy to the recipe were sworn to an unbreakable oath, their lives and the lives of their families undoubtedly bound to its preservation. This extreme compartmentalization was incredibly effective in maintaining the secret for centuries, allowing the Byzantines to hold a unique military advantage. However, this very strength became its fatal flaw. The knowledge was so vital, yet so narrowly held, that its eventual loss is considered a key factor in the empire's decline. As the Byzantine Empire gradually weakened, shrinking in territory and influence, the precise circumstances of how the formula slipped into oblivion remain shrouded in mystery. Was it lost in a forgotten archive? Did the last keeper of the secret die without an heir? Or was it simply a technology too complex to maintain as the empire's resources dwindled? The unanswered questions surrounding its disappearance only deepened the enigma. So, what was this devastating concoction? For centuries, historians, chemists, and military strategists have grappled with this central question, piecing together fragments of historical accounts, chemical analyses, and educated hypotheses. The leading hypothesis suggests a petroleum or crude oil base. This makes intuitive sense. Petroleum is lighter than water, explaining its ability to float and continue burning on the surface, a characteristic that terrified ancient mariners. To achieve the weapon's viscous, projecting nature, this oil base would likely have been mixed with thickeners, perhaps pine resin, which would also add to its flammability and adhesion to targets. Incendiaries like sulfur are also commonly proposed components, known since antiquity for their burning properties and their ability to generate noxious fumes. The combination of these elements would create a formidable, persistent fire, difficult to extinguish and horrifyingly effective in naval engagements. Another compelling theory points to the inclusion of quicklime. Quicklime, or calcium oxide, is a substance known for its exothermic reaction when mixed with water. It generates intense heat, often hot enough to ignite flammable materials. If quicklime was a component of Greek fire, perhaps encapsulated or mixed in a way that reacted upon contact with seawater, it could have created a terrifying spontaneous combustion effect. This would explain accounts of the fire seeming to ignite itself, or becoming even more furious when water was used to try and douse it. A truly hellish property that would have seemed supernatural to those witnessing it. The idea of water fueling the flames rather than extinguishing them undoubtedly contributed to the myth of the devil's breath. A more controversial idea suggests the formula involved saltpeter, a key ingredient in gunpowder. While the widespread use of gunpowder in Europe came centuries after Greek fire, the knowledge of saltpeter and its explosive potential existed in certain regions. If the Byzantines had stumbled upon its properties, combining it with their petroleum-based mixture, Greek fire could have been a sophisticated proto-napalm far ahead of its time. This would imply a level of chemical sophistication and experimentation that speaks volumes about the innovative minds within the Byzantine Empire, hinting at a lost technology that could have rivaled later inventions. Each of these theories, while plausible, highlights the complex and multifaceted nature of the weapon, a testament to the advanced chemical and engineering knowledge of the Byzantines. Despite the wealth of historical descriptions and modern scientific inquiry, the precise formula remains elusive. Scholars and scientists, driven by the enduring allure of this lost technology, have undertaken extensive research. They've analyzed ancient texts for cryptic clues, studied archaeological finds for remnants of Byzantine siphons, and conducted experimental archaeology, attempting to recreate the weapon based on the various hypotheses. These efforts have yielded functional prototypes that exhibit many of the described characteristics, confirming the feasibility of the proposed ingredients. However, without a definitive contemporary recipe, each recreation remains an informed approximation, a brilliant guess rather than an exact replica. The scientific and scholarly attempts to understand the subject have illuminated the potential mechanisms and ingredients. Yet, they have also underscored the depth of the secrecy maintained by the Byzantines. The lack of a single, unambiguous source describing the preparation, proportions, and deployment of Greek fire means that while we can grasp its destructive power and its historical impact, its chemical heart remains largely a subject of speculation. The true formula for Greek fire may indeed be lost forever, one of history's most profound technological secrets. But its legend, its terrifying effectiveness, and the enduring mystery of its composition continue to burn brightly in the annals of history. It serves as a powerful reminder of how innovation, even in its most destructive forms, can shape the destiny of empires and civilizations. It highlights the often fragile nature of knowledge, how a secret, once lost, can become an unsolvable enigma, forever tantalizing future generations. The story of Greek fire is more than just the tale of a weapon. It is an echo of humanity's relentless ingenuity, its capacity for both creation and destruction, and the enduring power of secrets that lie under the dust of centuries. It is a testament to the Byzantine Empire's remarkable technological prowess and its ability to defend itself against overwhelming odds. As we look back at this liquid flame that secured an empire's survival and baffled the world for a millennium, we are left to ponder not just what was lost, but what other forgotten pages of history still hold secrets waiting to be unearthed. What other ancient wonders, technologies, or stories lie hidden, waiting for their echoes to be heard once more?